This is David Lynn, and you're with me for Coffee Talk. It is Sunday, March the 1st, 2026, and this is Coffee Talk number 566. It's about 7 p.m. Central Time, different times around the world. And here we are. So, to begin, I'd like to thank Alan Sato for providing me with the notes that I'm going to go through this evening. This is very, very important stuff for preparedness, being able to survive in a grid down situation. I would encourage everybody to pay attention to it. And if you miss, I would encourage you to go back and check out the replay. This is stuff that you really need to have. Good evening, KP Heathen, my friend from Louisiana. How are you doing? And again, congratulations on reaching past 1,000. You just need your 4,000 watch hours, and you should be able to get monetized for what that's worth. Hello, Gary. Thank you for coming over from the UK. I was over on Miss Anne Marie Angel's channel a couple of times today. She does a couple of live streams. She usually does one where she's working on a puzzle, works these really nice 1,000 piece crossword puzzles, and then they do another one in the evening where they play games. On the television. A lot of times they're doing Wheel of Fortune. I'm not very good with that. Everybody else is a lot better at guessing the letters and the words than I am. And hello, Anne Marie Wilson. How are you doing? No, the clocks haven't went forward. Clocks have not went forward. Oh, it's been a long day. My batteries are on low. I start out in the morning. That's when, if you want me to do anything intellectual, you want me to do it before noon. Afternoon, I start slowing down, mentally and physically. It is what it is when you get older. It's just how it is. No, it's 7 o'clock my time, Central Time, Chicago time, whatever you want to call it. Central Time in the United States. I'm in sort of the middle of the United States. And but it is what it is. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. 5 in the house for likes. And I am drinking coffee. This is a coffee pod from my Keurig. It's a morning blend coffee that has caffeine in it, but not heavy coffee. It's not a dark roast. It's a medium roast or a light roast. This is probably my 4th cup of coffee of the day. Drank a couple this morning with my breakfast. I had one earlier. Top G Network and Enrique Unkael. How are y'all doing? Thank you for coming in. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like there's another subscriber giveaway coming up. I'm at 2276, 24 more. And you never know how this is going to go. It could take another month or so, or it could be tomorrow. It just depends on if I get a rush of new subscribers. It I tend to get I do certain shorts, or I do certain topics, and it gets me more subscribers, you know. And when I do stuff that has a religious tint to it, or I do stuff that involves pets, I get a lot more views and I get a lot more, new subscribers coming in. So, and I haven't been doing much of that lately. So my subscriber count has been down. My friend Dave, who goes by Yoda's Blessed Life, he's been picking up usually over 100 subscribers a day. And he's been doing that for the last year or so. He went from being a smaller channel than I have, to being a channel that just dwarfs me. And I say that with respect and with friendship and with admiration. I'm not saying it doesn't impact the caffeine content. Really? Just flavor? Okay, well, it's caffeinated. Thank you for that, my friend from south of me, who is a gourmet of coffee. I guess in his earlier life he was a barista, or barista, or whatever you call it, barrister or whatever. Oh man, I can remember back in the day growing up. I've been a coffee drinker since I was 8 or 10 years old, and I can remember back in the day they'd make pots of the stuff. They'd brew a pot of coffee, and you'd have 5 or 6 cups. You didn't want to go to waste, so you drink it till the end, and it was always good coffee. Miss Anne Marie Angel, how are you doing, young lady? I was singing praises about your wonderful puzzles. She's getting ready to complete one, and then they got another good one they're getting ready to start. It's going to be butterflies. And as blind as I am, if I took my glasses off and I looked at that puzzle on the screen, I would have swore it's not butterflies, but it's chickens. Um, hey, Gary, here we are talking about one of your favorites. I like to mess with Gary about chickens ever since they did. They had a Gary made. He's the chef of the family, and he made a turkey. I guess this was around Christmas time. They had a turkey for Christmas, and it was like a small turkey. And I joked with him about, well, that's like a large chicken. Are you sure it wasn't a chicken? Because it was like our Christmas turkey was like 23 pounds, I think. He said, I think he had said that they'd had an 8 pound turkey, and he was complaining about how much it cost. I said, their 8 pound turkey cost more than my 23 pound turkey. But, they're over in the UK, and prices are slightly different. Their pound is different than our dollar, and valuations and all that mess. So I feel for them. Uncle Al, thy bullfrog 79. Hello, sir. I was thanking you prior to you coming on about your topics for this evening, and how valuable they are to people who want to be prepared. And here comes my friend Yoda's Blessed Life. And your ears should be ringing too, my friend. Really? That's good to know. Really is good to know. 9 in the house, 6 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Drinking my coffee, took my evening medication. Wouldn't want to forget that. Sunday's the day when I put all my pills together. I do my pill caddy. I take 8 different medications every day, some of them twice a day. So I usually do that Sunday mornings is when I pull everything out of the bottles and put them, organize it and everything. I did that this morning. Life is about routines, especially when you get older. Yes, the force is strong. So is the methane, depending on what you've been eating. Ah, yes. I'm blind in my old age. I also hear things. I come into a live stream and somebody said something about, uh, well, they used a sort of a slang term. And I said, I'd swear I heard him say he needed to go relieve himself. That got a big laugh. But I think they were referencing being a little bit upset about something. Same thing, just different, meaning. And we're 11 minutes into the live stream. We'll be getting started with topics pretty soon. One of the things we'll talk about, a life straw. This is something that everybody should have. You should have at least one of these, or you should basically have one for each person. This goes in my carry. I have an office bag, a carry bag. This goes in there. I pulled it out from the slide pocket. I normally carry a half liter on one side. I carry that on the other side. I have some purification tablets. They serve different purposes, you know. I oftentimes will carry coffee filters. You use a coffee filter if you want to make sure you don't have any chunks or anything. You want to filter your waters like coffee. You can use a coffee filter. They're inexpensive and it's easy to carry a couple of them. And you can use that to filter water if you're going to get some water you want to filter out. You want to make sure there's no larger particles in it. You use a coffee filter. But we'll be getting started on that. Just checking to see who's here. I think I've greeted everybody that's here right now. 8 in the house, 7 likes. So you start off with power outage. Everybody experiences them. If you don't experience a power outage occasionally, you're blessed. But I mean, I even experience them here where I'm at, and I'm in a pretty well-run, small red city that pretty much has this act. Our city government pretty much has this act together most of the time. But you can have a power outage. There can be a storm. Something can happen. You can have the winter apocalypse, the snow apocalypse. And they wind up having to shunt power around, and you wind up having a brownout because they're sharing power with other areas of the grid. Texas has its own grid. There are 3 grids in the United States. Texas is the smallest of the 3. It is connected to the other grids. It can be separated from the other grids, but Texas has its own grid of the 3. It's the smallest one. Yeah, pretty late in England. I appreciate you guys coming by, and I understand if y'all need to go. I do appreciate the support for those of you over in the UK that are blessing me by coming over. So you have a power outage, and power goes out. The municipal water supply can go out. And you could have the equipment shut off, and then you can also have contamination of that water supply, where it's not safe to drink. One, the taps aren't running, so you can't flush the toilets unless you put water in the toilet to flush it. And the taps aren't running. So if you drink regular tap water, which I would encourage people not to because of the mineral content that tends to be in it, tends to, over a period of time, will form, you'll wind up getting kidney stones or a kidney stone. I had one of those way back when, 30 years ago. It was a very painful experience. I do not recommend it to anybody, and I haven't had any more problems because I drink bottled water, filtered water. Um, hey, Nicole, Social Butterfly, thank you for stopping by. I've never asked you this. Are you over in the UK, Nicole, or are you here in the States? Where are you located? Are you in Canada? What part of the where are you? What general area are you in? If you don't mind my asking. Many people don't know you can still flush a used toilet if the water isn't running. Use a bucket. Yes, that's true. You're in Louisiana. Well, that's good. KP Heathen, my friend, he's in Louisiana. Nicole's got a nice channel, and I would encourage you, if you're not connected to Nicole, I would encourage you to go over and make friends, and she'll make friends with you, and that way you both, you know, you both benefit. So, when there's a hurricane, like on the Gulf Coast, let's take Katrina as an example. Back in the days in 2005, they had back-to-back hurricanes. They had Rita, they had Katrina. The Louisiana got a double hit shortly, one after the other. Well, when Katrina hit New Orleans in 2005, people died of dehydration while surrounded by water because that water was contaminated with sewage, chemicals, bacteria, and alligators. Lots of alligators in Louisiana. The people there even eat the things. They A lot of them are French Cajun descent. They eat frogs. They eat alligators. They eat snake. They eat all sorts of stuff that I would not eat. But that's their taste buds. Um, yeah, she does have a big channel, KP. Her channel's probably twice the size, three times the size. Her channel's a lot bigger than mine, several times the size of mine. Um, so drinking it would kill you faster than not drinking at all. You can go for about 3 days without water, but you drink stuff that's contaminated, it'll kill you in a hurry. Give you dysentery, what they call the flux. You do not want that. Tap water storage in water containers before was the smart thing to do. If you know there's going to be an outage, you store up water. Even if you basically run it into your bathtub. Make sure your bathtub's clean and then run it into your bathtub. And you can fill up water in your bathtub. Hey, Rocket, thank you for stopping by. Rocket's another good channel. So, of you can get 5-gallon jugs at Walmart. You can get 3-gallon jugs at Walmart. You can get gallon jugs at Walmart. Um, Stackables. I get the I've got some 5-gallon ones, and they've got the handles. But I don't like. I'm getting older, and that's a lot of weight for me. A 5-gallon jug is a lot of weight for me. A 3-gallon jug, 1 gallon of water is 8 pounds. 8 pounds. there's 8 pints in a gallon. So a gallon is 8 pounds. So a 3-gallon jug, and I stack them 3 high. I could probably stack them 4, but I stack them 3 high. No, I lied to you. I stack them 4 high. I just looked over and looked at some of them. So you're looking at 24 pounds, not counting the light weight of the jug itself, because you get a plastic jug, it's less than a pound. But just call it 25 pounds. Let's call it 25 pounds. Well, that's a lot of weight, but it's not a lot of weight. But for me, or for an older person, or for a younger person, or for a small person like a lady, that's a lot of weight. 40 pounds, that's a lot of weight. That's just like I buy packs of water. I buy bottled water. I'll buy half liters. I always buy the 24 packs. They make 40 packs. I used to buy the 40 packs. I don't buy them because you're talking over 40 pounds, you know. And I can handle the 24 pack a lot better than I can certainly handle a 40 pack, or I can handle it for longer if I need to carry it in and I don't have a cart available. So I would basically encourage people to get the 3-gallon jugs. You can get several 3-gallon jugs. You could get 5 3-gallon jugs, and that's 15 gallons of water. You know, and the idea is you want 1 gallon per day per person. Yep, 32 packs. Okay, I guess that's a compromise in between. Yeah, empty. They already had weight. That's true. You know, and you can get stuff delivered to you. You can get a service that will deliver to you. Like at my school, they use the 5-gallon jugs, and they've got a water dispenser plugged in, and you don't have to have, electric dispenser. You can have just a regular. I've got a regular dispenser, and I've got some of those jugs. I really don't use them. I tend to around the house we use the 1-gallon jugs. We buy them, then we refill them. We'll go down and at the water mill and we'll refill them. You know, it's filtered water, and we got a bunch of those. And then we buy the half liters. You know, like 17 out. They're like 17 ounces. A liter is 34 ounces. Um, well, you go, Uncle Al. 24 pieces for 16.95. Yeah, we get chicken out sometimes. I get the chicken out when I don't feel like cooking. So you can get bottles from Walmart, and I encourage you to do that. But we're talking about Cousin Dumas and friends. Let's talk about the $50 survival uh, mode. A life straw and water purification tablets would have saved those lives, those people who died after Katrina. A life straw. This is just one variety. They're very easy to use. Maximum, it says 650 milliliters. That's about 20 ounces. It's about 20 ounces. Um, Here's what makes them perfect prep items. It's affordable. You can get a life straw and water purification tablets. Now, truthfully, you're not going to get a life straw. The prices that Uncle Al uses, you're not going to. He's quoting a price from a previous time. You're not going to get a life straw and water purification tablets for $20. You're going to pay, quite frankly, about $9 for a pack of water purification tablets. And then a life straw is going to cost you probably $35, $40. Maybe you'll get one on sale for a little bit less if they're trying to get rid of them. But if you're getting something like this, look it up on Amazon or Walmart. It's going to cost you a little bit more. But Uncle Alan in the notes uses the $50, and um, you can get everything that he's talking about probably for under $100. But I don't think you're going to do what we're talking about. All respect, no disrespect to Uncle Al. Not wanting to upset him or anything because I'm using his notes, which he spent a lot of time providing these notes to me. But the idea is sound, certainly sound, and very good advice. You want to get a life straw or a Sawyer. Sawyer makes a good purification bottle that you can get. I've got both. I include a straw or a Sawyer, a life straw or a Sawyer, with the packs that I've given my wife and my kid, and my son-in-law. Like I said, I carry a life straw myself. So here's what makes them perfect items. It's affordable. You can get a life straw and water purification tablets. Some brands are even cheaper. Yeah, those are name brands. You can probably get something cheaper. It might be around $20. That's why you need water purification tablets. Life straws remove bacteria and particles. Water purification tablets kill viruses, but neither one removes minerals like salt, chemicals, and toxins from water. Got to be careful what source you get. You want to get fresh water. You want to get flowing water. Um, so you get a stream or you get a river or you get a lake that's got life in it. It's got life in it, like fish in it. It's a freshwater source, something like that. Reality check. Okay, now that's settled, let's leave you with $30 for other basics. So the life straw and water purification tablets weigh less than 4 ounces. They're not heavy. It's portable. You keep it in your car, your get home bag, your desk at work. It's a good idea to have more than one. You know, I mean, if you got the money, I'd have several of them, and you can put. It's like having a first aid kit, a good first aid kit. You want to have multiple ones. It's like having a fire extinguisher. You want to have multiples. Smoke detectors. You want to have multiples. You know, you want to have stuff out in your garage. You want to have stuff in your kitchen. You want to have stuff in each of your vehicles. Got to think about that. Got to plan for that. Yeah, you get quite a bit with them. Quite a bit. Um, you don't need to store it. You don't need to maintain it. You just need to have it. Life straws, immediate use, no setup, no batteries, no boiling, designed for bailout pilots who can drink directly from a stream, a puddle. It filters out 99.9% removal of bacteria, parasites, and particles. That means E. coli, Salmonella, Giardia, all the things that will destroy you in a real disaster scenario. What if your purification tablets kill the rest, viruses? And here's the part that most cousin Dumases don't understand. It doesn't just solve the water problem, it solves the mobility problem. For seniors, elderly, disabled, and handicapped, if you need to evacuate and you can't carry 5 gallons of water, you don't have to. You can drink from any safe source along the way. If you're trapped in your home and the tap water is contaminated, you can survive on rainwater or melted snow, even your hot water heater. One life straw or bottle filter filters out roughly 1,000 gallons in water purification tablets. That's one person drinking water for over a year for around $20. Let me give you a real world scenario. It's winter, real world Texas 2021. That was the great snow apocalypse when they had the brownout. They had the shut down the windmills. The the windmills weren't working. The solar wasn't working. Everything was overstressed. They had to brown out. They had to shut down. They had to shut down, and they had to shunt power around different places where you didn't have power for like 20 hours a day. Um, the power goes out for a week. This isn't hypothetical. Millions of people lost power in freezing temperatures, and then the water stopped working. Pipes froze. Treatment plants shut down. Boil advisories went out. That's 5 years ago, but it was a real bad situation. A lot of people died. A lot of people died. But cousin Dumas, people couldn't boil water because they had no power. Melt snow and drink with life straw. Go to a stream and get a bucket of water. Throw in water purification tablets. The rest is easy and simple so that cousin Dumas could understand. Cold, wear layers of clothing and stay dry. You can survive weeks if you ration what is in your pantry. Hello, Melinda Elliott. Thank you for stopping by. How are you doing? But you can't survive without water. 16 in the house, 12 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. In most emergencies, water scarcity happens rapidly, then food scarcity. Plus, the life straw and water purification tablets buy you time. Time to think. Time to plan. Time to wait for help. Dehydration destroys your ability to make decisions. After 24 hours, confusion sets in. Your cognitive abilities decline. Function drops. You make bad choices. You panic. You put yourself in more danger. A life straw or a bottle filter with water purification tablets keep you hydrated, which keeps you thinking clearly, which keeps you alive. Okay, got that? Here's what you do with the remaining $30. After buying your life straw or bottle filter with water purification tablets, you buy a small rechargeable flashlight, glass tube candles, $15. Next, you buy 2 Bic lighters and a box of kitchen matches, $5. Well, like I said, you can buy uh, matches. You get 12 packs of these, 32 in one. You get 12 packs for 99 cents at Walmart. That's inexpensive. And you can get candles. Bic lighters. I ordered these on Amazon. Gave a pack to my wife, pack to me. I carry lots of these. I got lots of these. These I haven't even opened up. Inexpensive. Inexpensive. Um, Next, after the Bic lighters, you buy a Mylar foil emergency blanket. It's about $3 for heat retention. Those little solar type blankets, lightweight ones. And you take the remaining $7 and you buy ready to eat pull top canned food that you actually eat: beans, soup, tuna pouches, not survival rations that taste like cardboard, real food. Well, whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat on that one. Um, that you can rotate through your pantry. Not rocket science. Well, that's your $50 budget. Emergency kit for apartment dwellers, mobile home, elderly people, disabled people, handicapped people, college students. It's not sexy. It's not tactical. It's not gray man. But it works, and it prioritizes the things that will kill you fast. Dehydration. The difference between people who survive disasters and people who don't isn't money, isn't gear, truth. It's priorities. It's understanding that the first 72 hours in any emergency, you need water, hydration, warmth, body, temperature, mental clarity, clear thinking. Everything else is secondary. You can buy a life straw today. You can throw it in your car, glove box. Forget about it until you need it. And when the emergency comes, when the tap water runs dry, or the evacuation order comes, or the storm knocks out the grid, you have the one thing that matters most. So here's what you do tonight. You don't spend hours researching survival gear. You don't watch YouTube videos on preparing 100-pound bug out bags. You go online, buy a life straw. And, you can look at different things. Like I said, Life Straw and Sawyer are both name brands. I have both. I buy both. There are other cheap ones you can get. Hello, Verna. How's it going? My friend Vay from Vay's Place. Thank you for stopping by. Please leave a like to support the channel. Be greatly appreciated. You get that and you put it someplace you can immediately access quickly. That's step one. That's the core foundation. Everything else you add to your preparations, build on that foundation. Because the best prep items isn't the one, guns and knives. It's good to have both. That makes you feel safe. It's the one that actually keeps you alive. And nothing does that better or cheaper than clean water. Stay hydrated, stay prepared, stay smart. SD Mountain Man, how's it going, Scott? Your brand ambassador for Hydro Blue. Sounds great. Because the best prep items, again, not knives and guns, but you need to have both. You really need to have for self-defense, and you need to have something you can cut with. Inexpensive pocket knife. Something with a good blade on it. Nothing does that better or cheaper than clean water. Stay hydrated, stay prepared, stay smart. Remember, survival isn't about having everything. It's about having the right thing when it matters the most. I mean, one of these days I need to basically do a video on just different types of water filtration. You get people who buy these Berkeys, they're big, they're expensive, and they're built for, purifying a lot of water. But, we're talking about something you can basically take with you. It's about 20 ounces, this one. And you can get the ones that just have the little straw that you suck through. And they're cheaper. And that might be what Uncle Al was referring to when he said $20. Maybe I'd have to check on it. But, like, again, go on to Amazon or go on to Walmart and check. Look, and see what they cost. And order one if you don't have one. Something good to have. We are about 43 minutes into the live stream. 11 in the house, 12 in the house, 16 likes. So I want to talk a little bit. Mike Crusher Reviews, how's it going? No, sorry. Michaela Messick. Hello, Michaela Messick. I apologize. When I saw that, I was thinking it was Mike Crusher, a good friend who has a ration channel. How are you doing, Michaela? So I did a video which I released yesterday, and it was a unboxing, and it was a channel update, and I showed the type of soup that I buy. I'll take him to school tomorrow. I got 3 12-packs. I pay $4.44 for a 12-pack. And I order about 3 at a time. It's under 15 bucks, you know. I order about every week. I order 3 of those. Takes I usually order them and I get them the next day. They come out of Houston. I'm about 2 hours south of Houston. Comes out of Houston. It's one of the things that I have on hand to feed my kids. That, and I keep bottled water. Nobody wants to drink the tap water around our school. And it comes from a well. White Girl Magic was hidden by Vase Place. Uh-oh, did a troll come in? Did somebody? Thank you. I talk and I don't pay attention and trolls come in. Well, it happens. It happens. That's one of the things about, in a grid down situation, there are going to be people that are going to be wanting to come to you, and they're going to want what you have. They're going to want you to share. They know you've got stuff. They're going to be showing up. Do you want people without any resources showing up? They're going to be a drain on your resources. Got to think about that. I'm gonna have to heat this back up. I don't like cold coffee, and it's cooled down. It's one of the things about. I really need to have a coffee warmer plugged in, but I don't. I've got several of them, but I don't have any plugged in right now. Um, you have to think about stuff like that. There will be. Here I'm going and ooh and I'm stuttering. And Uncle Al's probably going crazy over there and saying, "You're going to get fined if you worked on television," because he was telling me about that, how they get fined for stuttering or oohing and ahhing on television, on network television. They fine them for that. Back in the day, you would get in trouble for dead air time on radio. You could get fined, or the station could get fined for dead air time. They did not want dead air time. So you had to make sure that you had music playing, or you were talking, or running a commercial, but you did not have any sort of dead air time, or you'd get a fine for it. And that was back 40 plus years ago. Back when I could tell you stories about that. I used to have a third class FCC license, and you had to have at least a third class license in order to be on radio. So I had to go to Houston to take my test back in the day from Corpus when I was a teenager. And I'm reminiscing, which I'm being told don't reminisce. Anyway, you need to have the basics down. The FTC fined the station. FCC, Federal Communication Commission. Federal Communications Commission. Yeah. Um, Back in the day, if you were like a weekend radio, a weekend part time, they'd hire teenagers to do that. Work weekends. You'd work a. You could work a 6 hour shift, and midnight till 6. They usually would put the rookie on that, or the low man on the totem pole. I could tell you some stories about midnight to 6 Sunday morning, Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Um, the weekends, midnight to 6, you're getting paid minimum wage. Back then, minimum wage was like very little. You weren't salaried or anything. You were basically a part timer, and you were subject to replacement. But it was good. It was good to do that because people wanted to hire DJs for dances. I used to do dances and such. So if you were affiliated with a radio station, you were more likely, oh, it's a radio DJ, and you were more likely to get hired to do dances. That was back in the day during the waning days of disco back in the late 70s, early 80s. You would do a dance music, popular disco type stuff, country western, light rock, pop type music, top 40 type music that you could dance to. And back then, we would have two turntables. You would play 45s, you could play albums. And at that time, I used to get $30 an hour. You do a 4-hour dance, it was $120, and that was big money back then. Big money back then. Big money. And it went up to $150 for a 4-hour dance. And I would do school dances and weddings and sweet 16s and all sorts of stuff. Then I transitioned into photography, and I started doing photography. And I used to always do photography when I was a teenager. That was one of my big hobbies, was photography, film photography. You have a 35 millimeter camera, and you could have a dark room, and you could develop your black and white film. I could actually develop color film and print color film, but it was a pain in the butt back then. I could tell you stories about that. I took stuff like that in college. Um, Basically reminiscing about back in the days. Yeah, yeah. But it really didn't happen much where I was at, because we wouldn't have dead air time. We wouldn't have any sort of lengthy dead air time, and they weren't monitoring us that close because there was no AI back then. It'd have to be something that'd be reported, or it'd have to be like an extensive type. It'd have to be something like serious in order for them to catch you with something like that. And I never, doing the midnight to 6 in the morning on an AM station that didn't have that many. No, you didn't have to worry about that because you wouldn't. And back then, you'd use a cart. You'd have a cart, so it was like a oversized 8 track, and commercials were on carts. The top 40 was on carts, so you'd have whatever the current top 40 songs were, and you had a pattern that you would play. Top 20, bottom 20, top 20, next 20, whatever. And you'd do that series, and then you'd play an old song, and you play a new song. And usually when you played a new song or you played an old song, you were playing a 45, or you were playing from an album on a turntable. But the rest of it and all your commercials were on carts. Sometimes you'd have a one of those big reel-to-reel machines playing. You could have an extended, tape, and you could be playing for an extended period of time. Got to the point where I could record a 4-hour dance on one of those reel to reels, and I could have all my music pre-recorded, and you'd start it and you'd play it. Or if I wanted to take a break, I could kick in the machine, and it'd play several songs for me while I'm taking a break, and you go to the restroom, or I'm taking a coffee break or whatever, and it'd be playing. And that was like back in the days. So it's Sunday. I do not plan on. Well, 8 tracks were really, and that was, talk about the 8 track, the old 8 track player. My mom had one in her car. She had a Thunderbird back in the 60s, and it had an 8 track. It was big old carts. You know, she'd have 8 tracks. It was a lot larger than the cassettes. You remember the little cassettes back in the day? But anyway, I will not be back until this coming Friday. I normally do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I work during the week, and on vacations, or I'll have spring break in a couple of weeks, and I'll probably do a couple during the week during spring break. I'll probably do a couple live streams during the week, but normally when I'm working, I usually do not go live during the week. This coming Friday, I'll plan on doing another one, and then I will post it on my. I'll post it and let you know that I'm doing a live stream. I try to do a couple of shorts every day. I usually do one in the morning and one in the evening. Once in a while, I release a video, like I released a video this weekend. It had been a couple of weeks since I'd released one before. If you are interested in a chance to be in the drawing for my next giveaway, you need to be a subscriber, and then you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released. And at this point in time, the way I'm looking, I don't think I'm going to release any more videos before spring break, and that'll be in a couple of weeks from now. So if I don't hit that number, I need 24 more. If I don't hit that number in the next couple of weeks, there'll probably be a video or 2 over spring break. But chances are, if I hit that number, then the one that I just released, and I go back 4 more, I'll be checking to see who left me a like and a supportive comment. I have to take it on faith that you left me a like, but I can certainly count the comments, and I can certainly look at the comments that people leave. So if you are interested in being in my drawing, and there's usually not that many people that qualify for my drawing because not that many people consistently look at my videos. They'll look here and they might miss 1 or 2, and then they go back and they'll do a couple more, and so. But if you want to have a chance for my next drawing, and I give out good stuff, please remember to leave me a like and a supportive comment. And we'll do a drawing. I'll probably eat a taco and drink some coffee. And you'll have to listen to me for 7 or 8 minutes, talk about it, and I'll show I'll show how I did it and who won, and then I'll show what's in the giveaway box. And I put good stuff in my giveaway box. I usually spend over $100. It cost me over $100 to give those out. It's my way of giving back. I don't have to do it, but I do it for people who support me, and I give out stuff without doing a drawing. Sometimes I send people stuff. People who consistently support me, I send them stuff. I'll send them a box. When the spirit moves me, when I feel, like I need to do something for you, I'll do it for you. So, again, I appreciate those of you who are here. I appreciate, when you support me. Right now, I think I got about 17 likes, 11 in the house. We're coming up on the 1 hour point. I hope you like this evening's topic. The main thing to remember is have a life straw, or have a Sawyer, or have some form of filtration. Get some water purification tablets. You can get the water purification tablets at Walmart, or you can order them online. You're going to pay about $9. There'll be 2 little bottles. There's a tablet A and a tablet B. You put the A in, you let it dissolve, you let it sit for a little while. Then after that, you put the tablet B in, and that'll take care of your viruses. It'll help you. And then you'd still want to run it through your straw. And that should take care of most of it. I use a couple of coffee filters to get out any particles. Make sure of the water source you're getting it from, and that'll keep you hydrated. It's very important you have water. You can't go very long without water. You also want to have a supply of food, canned food, something you can rotate, something that you will eat. Having like peanut butter and crackers. Having having Cliff Bars, different stuff. And it's just important to have a supply of your medication. You take medication, you better have a supply of your medication with you. You're going to need it. No yellow snow, no pool water. That's right, Uncle Al. A Sawyer and a Sig Sauer. Yeah, 9mm. I personally like revolvers, a 357, something with a 4-inch barrel. Hollow points. I like the Plus P instead of Magnum, so I get 38 Plus P hollow points. And you want to have spare. I like to use speed loaders. I have a couple of speed loaders that I can know how to change it out pretty fast. Having a 9mm with a couple of spare magazines is a good thing. I personally like Smith & Wesson. I got a stainless, 15 rounds, plus one in the pike, a couple of spare magazines. It's old school, but I'm old school. So, everybody, I appreciate you. Please remember the Scout motto is be prepared. It's the Scout motto, the Prepper motto. And everybody, have a blessed day, and hopefully we'll see you again this coming Friday for another edition of Coffee Talk. Appreciate it. Everybody have a nice evening and have a blessed week. And just remember, be prepared. Bye-bye. Appreciate you.